Body. My name is Emmanuel. I am the data analyst for the Influenza Death Project in the US. According to the data collected by the Center for Disease and Control between the year 2009 and 2017, over 600 people died as a result of influenza, in which vulnerable people from age of 65 upward are the most affected. Let's look at the project's motivation. The United States has an influenza season where more people than usual suffer from the flu. Some people, particularly those in vulnerable populations, develop serious complications and end up in the hospital. Hospitals and clinics need additional staff to adequately treat these extra patients. The Medical Staffing Agency provides this temporary staff. Project objective. The objective of the project is to determine when to send staff and how many to each state. Project scope. The agency covers all hospitals in each of the 50 states of the United States, and the project will plan for the upcoming influenza season. Research hypothesis. If the state has higher population of 65 plus, that is 65 upward and above, then there is higher risk of flu death. Let's delve into the presentation proper. Let's look at the data. What data is saying about the population affected. Moving on to the next slide to look at the affected population by the flu. The first chart here is showing the total number of deaths across the states of the US between 2009 and 2017. On the y-axis here, you have all the states represented across the United States, and on the horizontal axis, you have the deaths in numbers. And from the chart, we can see across the states of California has the highest number of deaths, followed by the New York, which is 44,000 deaths was recorded in New York. And moving on to the third one, which is Texas. Texas recorded 30,000 deaths over the period. And the fourth state is Pennsylvania and Florida. So we can see from the first 5 states, these are the top five states, the Florida, Pennsylvania, Texas, New York, and California. So the second chart simply talked about the influenza deaths by age group between the year 2009 and 2017. So this is the age group of the population for each of the states. So when you click on California being the highest with number of deaths in the first chart, you can see that people from 65 years upward has the highest deaths, and this is 7,160. Okay, so if you move to 75 to 84, you can see 13,000 being recorded, and up to 85 years and above, you have 26,000 deaths recorded. So in the same vein, if you go to the state of New York, you also have 65 years upward being the most vulnerable in this population. The same thing goes to 75 to 84 years old. If you check another states, Texas, as you can see, the 65 plus people are the most vulnerable. So we can actually infer from this data that the most affected by the flu are people from this age group of 65 years and above. So moving on to the next slide, um, we need to look at when flu actually starts in the United States. So the first chart here is showing us the yearly number of deaths between 2009 and 2017. And on the y-axis, you have the deaths in numbers. And on the horizontal axis, you have the year from 2009 fully represented till 2017. And from the charts, we can see for each year, from 2009, you have 71,000 deaths recorded across the year. For the entire year, for between 2009 and 17, the highest number of deaths was 76,478, which was recorded in 2015. And of course, the second chart is showing the monthly deaths between 2009 and 17. This actually shows that there is seasonality occurrence in terms of deaths across the months. And if you hover on this chart, we can see from here that January, February, and March, this is the winter period where the most deaths are recorded. And this is actually a season where people died from the flu. And if you look at it from January, February, March, you can see the low deaths being recorded from April, May, June, which is the springtime. And you can see from July to September, which is the summer period. And of course, you have the fall period from here. And looking at December, the winter period actually starts in December. The winter starts from December, January, February, and finishes in March. If you go to the highest deaths, which was recorded in 2015, you can see the changes. Also, it follows the same pattern from January. You can see January 11,000, February, March, and if you go to December, so you can see an increase from December. You can see 6,000 deaths was recorded in the month of December, and January was 11 and on like that. So, and if you check another year, you are likely to see the same trend. In 2013, the same trend. So this suggests that the peak season actually for the influenza deaths is from December, January, February, and March. Moving on to the next slide, we want to look at where staff should be deployed to. Where do we need the staff most? This chart is showing the death distribution across states between 2009 and 2017 for age group 65 plus. As you can see from the legend here, this is the age group 65 to 74. And you can see the legend here. The dark blue is showing us the highest deaths across the states. Okay, so from here we have California. As we have seen from the previous slide, California has the highest number of deaths. Followed by Texas, you have the New York. New York is here, and of course Pennsylvania and Florida. So this is how that is distributed among the vulnerable ones in the United States. So let's look at the recommendation and conclusion. Let's look at the insights from the data between 2009 and 2017. The data actually showed three things. One, it showed us that there is seasonality um, in the deaths recorded in the United States. And as you can see from the previous slide, we could see that the peak season for influenza are December, January, February, and March. And the people affected mostly are the people from age of 65 years and above. And of course, the data also showed us the top 5 states with highest influenza deaths. And these states are California, New York, Texas, Pennsylvania, and Florida. And this is also showing with the bar charts here on this slide. You can see California with 57,000 in total deaths. You can see the New York, Texas with 30,000 deaths, Pennsylvania, and Florida. Moving on to recommendation and conclusion. The objective of this project is to determine who to send staff to. And the data has proven to us that the staff should be sent to the vulnerable age group from 65 years and above. And again, which states? Where are the top 5 states to be sent? Where are the top 5 states the staff should be sent to? It is also obvious from the data as shown from the previous charts that California, New York, Texas, Pennsylvania, and Florida are the states we need to send staff to. Moving on to next step, I would like to create a flu shot awareness from beginning of summer. Two, I would like to make suggestion that the flu shot should be made available between September and November before winter period in December, because as you can see from the previous slide, it showed us that the winter period is basically where you have that is where the winter period starts. And we have seen from the slide that we have increase in death from December, January, February, and March. So it would be nice to make flu shots available for the vulnerable between September and November before the winter period starts. And lastly, we need to monitor the monthly hospitalization rates due to influenza. I hope this insight is useful. If there is any question, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.